So it's much better.
So what? So after you played 2 years back at East Freo, how did you? Was it just a coincidence that St Kilda came knocking on the door, or was it you entered the draft?
Yeah, there's a little bit to it. So I had 2 years at East Fremantle, and then my partner at the time said, "I'm moving to Melbourne, regardless of what you're doing," kind of thing. So it was a little bit of a.
All right.
Yeah, it was interesting. But at this time we'd been dating for 2 years, and I thought that I could play state league footy anywhere was my thoughts, and get paid for it. I could play VFL, NEFL, and be a sought after player in some regards. So I thought that's no dramas. I took that opportunity to move. We moved, and I took that opportunity to play for that coach. I developed a really good relationship. He was at Richmond VFL as the head coach, and I just zeroed in on him. So a lot of the VFL clubs heard I was coming, and I just didn't even field their queries or calls. I just said, I'm going straight. I don't care what you're paying me. Just get me to Richmond VFL. And that was a really good decision for me. So we moved over there, and then I trained at Richmond VFL for about 2 months. And then I played in a pracky match with the AFL team. So they needed numbers.
Okay.
And I played really well. Again, it was cool because I was playing with Dusty Martin. He was like on my team, Trent Cotchin, Dion Prestia and things like that. It was so cool playing with those absolute jets of an AFL team again. I think that helped me. So I played really well. And then the next week, it was a VFL practice match, and they rested me. They said, because you played last week, we're going to play some other blokes. And St Kilda messaged me on Friday and said, will you be at the game on Saturday for a chat? Completely random. Never talked to him. The James Gallagher, the list manager, just said, like, yeah, if you're there, I'll catch up with you. So, yeah, I'll be there. So the next day I caught up with him, and he just said, we've had some key backs go down. We're looking at you for the supplement something program, the SSP, where you can sign a player all the way up to round 1. So the draft has been and gone. I put my name in the draft, didn't get drafted. Literally no clubs talked to me. I came second to the BNF East Fremantle. No one gave a shit who I was, what I was doing. So I was like, fair enough. I'm pretty much done with AFL. Yeah. I'll go play VFL for a coach I really love and see if that can reignite my career. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how St Kilda got on my radar, but they sent me that message on a Friday. I talked to him on Saturday, and I was drafted on Wednesday.
Wow.
It was a complete turnaround like that. And it was pretty cool. But then on top of that, I got drafted a week before round 1. I got signed by St Kilda a week before round 1, and I had to enter this club that I knew one person, and even the first years had since November to develop these relationships. And I've just walked in, and the worst thing about it was that there was about 4 key backs injured, but then the key backs who thought they were the next in line were looking at me going, who's this kid? So
competition.
Yeah, I had 3 or 4 blokes that it took them a while to warm up with me, because I turned into another person they had to jump. I was another hurdle, whereas you kind of go through that throughout pre-season of assessing where you're at in the team and understanding it and accepting it. And then all of a sudden it gets to just before round 1, and they're like, is this bloke just going to come in and play? Because there was a couple of rumours that St Kilda might play me, and that was never in the cards. Yeah. But the media just decided to make like a Hail Mary of a prediction.
Yeah, okay.
So that was tough for me, going into a team where, and I knew one person out of, the whole playing list and the support staff and the coaches. And then on top of that, a couple of blokes are not too sure about me. It was strange. It was very strange. And that's gone from, I settled into it was a crap job, but I was working in a warehouse. I settled into that, and I actually loved it. Yeah, okay. I enjoyed it. I had a great boss, had great people I worked with, and I loved it. And I loved Richmond VFL. Like, if there's ever been a time I've enjoyed my footy more as much as when I was a junior, it was that 2 months at Richmond. It was just incredible. So I've gone from having a pretty stable life to all of a sudden just like back in the AFL, back into that environment. And that's what I wanted. Yeah, okay. But it was just, usually you put your name for the draft, you're expecting to get drafted. You go get drafted, and then you got pre-season to do it, to handle those expectations and the pressures. And then all of a sudden it was just straight into, which was, in a way, it was pretty cool. I got to skip an AFL pre-season, which I don't like doing. They put me through like a mini 2-week pre-season to get me up to standard, but it wasn't as bad as 6 months of or whatever it is. So yeah, it was so strange how that came about.
Yeah, right. what's kind of the worst preseason? Like, what's so, well, obviously I know what's so bad about it, but it's just the running, the constant running,
Yeah,
the compound effect.
I actually, to be honest, my AFL preseasons have been really good.
Okay.
One of the waffle preseasons, I'm not going to name names, but we were told to just run and they weren't going to tell us how far. Ever. Throughout the whole preseason.
Oh, no to say stop.
They just said, run until I say stop.
Yeah, okay.
And just for me, I just need to know how far I'm running, because if you tell me to run 8 400s, I know how much I'm running. But if you don't tell me we're running 8 400s, I'm coasting 6 of them because I'm thinking we're running 20. If you know what I mean? Like, because you're not telling me the quantity, I'm not going to give my all for all of them because I don't know how many we're doing. And we could be here till 6 a.m. in the morning. I don't know. And that's what kind of annoyed me, is that, you know, we do 10 100s, but we didn't know we're doing 10. And it gets to 9, and then he goes, all right, last one. And I'm like, oh, man, I actually could have given a whole lot more for the other 9. I just didn't agree with it. And that was something that really played with me all preseason. So that was kind of one of the ones that I really struggled with. And then on top of that, we had this other session where I was thinking we were going to do not as much. And then we did so much. And that's one of the only times I spewed.
Oh, really? You're not a spewer?
Never. And I full on threw up in a waffle preseason. So, and apart from that, like, yeah, my AFL ones actually haven't been too bad, but I'm not a preseason man.
No. Get out and play.
Yeah, just
show what you got.
Do as much preseason with ball in hand and playing footy as possible is my thing, yeah. And then if you need to top up running, then let's make it as short as possible and more ball, more game, simulation than anything. But yeah,
well, the shortened preseasons now are going to be best for you.
Absolute blessing. Yeah.
The shorter the preseason.
Yeah, my second year at St Kilda, they extended the Christmas break by 3 weeks instead of 2.
Yep.
For AFL players, that was amazing.
Yeah,
that seriously felt like a break. Was before you had 14 days, and I'd usually fly home from Melbourne to Perth. And by the time and it's 14 days, it's a significant amount of time. But yeah, that just felt like it wasn't too long. And then the 3 weeks was, really good. So I'm all for a shortened preseason and a longer break for players.
Obviously, that gives you the mental rest as well. You can kind of get back to life, see your loved ones and all this sort of stuff.
Same as waffle. I think waffle's certainly harder in AFL in terms of you have to work and then you have to do your running or your football. So you give players more of a break, let them get into their own training routine. And if they don't, then they're going to suffer when they come back to the club. But, you know, a lot of the boys at East Manor were so diligent with their running and their programs that, you know, you can actually give them a bit longer off because they're ticking the boxes. It's one of those ones you just got to trust your playing group.
Trust is hard to build, though.
Absolutely. No, I'm just saying this purely as a playing point of view. But trust, and it hard to build, very quick to get taken away. So I understand the complexities of it from a coaching point of view as well. I'm just always going to be an advocate for give me as long off as possible.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I want the same too.
Oh,
it gives me a bit more of a break.
Who doesn't want holidays?